Welcome to the lunation situation. We are going to talk about the full moon in Leo happening at 16 degrees and 40 minutes on February the 5th at 18:28 p.m. GMT. Adjust for your own location. Well, as it goes for full moons, most rituals preferably are done until until it becomes full. Then you surrender and release, right? So the time is relevant for anything you want to do up until that point. Now, when we talk of full moons, it is a moment of release, of letting go, of something completing, something coming to an end, right? And something may be revealed to us. Something might come in the open that we didn't see before. And it can also be a time where something comes full circle, like the full moon itself. And you may celebrate something, you may come together with people and celebrate your achievements, also possible during a full moon. So, this full moon occurs in the sign of Leo. Now, Leo is a very flamboyant sign. It's a sign that wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to be applauded. It is a very showy, performance-y kind of energy. So this is where you might find the urge to be more in the limelight, more at the front of something, showing an element of yourself, a creative part of yourself that you may not have tapped into before. Leo is also a very childlike energy. It's the sign that loves children, and it's also, as I said, about creativity. So something that you really enjoy doing is something that might come around during this full moon. Also, Leo is about the heart, literally the heart organ, but also, of course, figuratively in the sense of love and that courage that comes from the heart. So this is also where you might think about stuff that you really love, profoundly love, and maybe the courage that you need to follow your heart and follow what is true for you within your heart, within that creative spark. Now, of course, Leo is ruled by the sun, which is why it is so eager to be in the limelight, eager to be at the front stage and to be seen. Leo is that playful energy that you may want to invite into your life around this time. Questions may involve, what does your heart need? What do you love? And you need to bring more of into your life. So let's look at what the patterns are in this lunation. What kind of aspects this full moon in Leo is making. Well, clearly, first of all, it is making a red triangle, which is called a T-square, and that means there's a lot of conflict energy, a lot of tension going on during this full moon, and it is pointing towards Uranus, who is in Taurus at 15 degrees. Now, this lunation happening around 16 degrees means that it's very close to Uranus in that T-square. This is indicating that, since Uranus stands for change, erratic change, sometimes chaotic change, but ultimately breakthroughs, right, which can happen through breakdowns. So this T-square is showing that this lunation is bringing some uncomfortable changes, some changes that we may not want to make because they're in the fixed signs. So change needs to happen, says this T-square, but it will probably happen suddenly out of nowhere, since it's that Uranian energy. It might take us by surprise, but it might not be something we welcome so much, right? So it could be an uncomfortable change, something we're not per se willing to make, or that just feels uneasy, you know. But it seems that change is pretty likely around this lunation. Uranus is that awakening energy, though. So in the sign of, you know, in Earth sign of Taurus, means that you might be awakening to some earthly reality, maybe a frequency upgrade within the body, and it is Venus ruled, this Uranus and Taurus. So it's again about that love element, like Leo. It's still about that heart and romance. So maybe this is also indicating some changes in the love life and needing more need for love, and maybe maybe something you aren't fulfilled in yet, or something like that, you know. At least something is being revealed to you regarding this need for love and romance, and also a different view that you need, a different perspective on this earthly reality. So all that is happening during this lunation situation. I think it's interesting that also Mars and Venus are squaring, which is again tension between the male and the female energies, between our drive to pursue something and our need for pleasure and relationships is a little bit strenuous during this lunation, which is also indicating again that love relationship, right? Love, need for romance, need to fulfill the heart more. Venus is exalted in Pisces here, so this is looking for love in higher places as well, and not being afraid of what those needs are, and to be okay with meeting those needs. And a few other things that this lunation is making, and that is a positive aspect to Chiron, the asteroid of the wounded healer, that emphasizes our pain and trauma and the need to process them and become wiser and hopefully help others with the way you've healed yourself, right? So it is making a very harmonious aspect to this moon, to this full moon in Leo. This could be a sign that, you know, this is a full moon. This is an easy moment to let go of long-standing trauma around self-identity and about how you see yourself, physically, and to have a opportunity with this full moon in Leo to easily let go of that blockage within around yourself and self-identity. So that's a nice opportunity here, to being able to let go of long-standing trauma, or at least finding some release point around this time. And you know, obviously it's going to be through emotions because it's the moon. So maybe some emotions will flare up, but it will be really easy to let go of them. It will just flow out of you, sort of. So let the emotions out. Since the lunation is in Leo, which is a fire sign, and Chiron is in a fire sign too, would tell me that it's really good to use the fire element during this lunation. So, you know, safely, of course, burn sage or Palo Santo, or look into a flame. You can burn a small candle and make sure that it burns all the way through. Like those little Christmas candles are very good for that, or just you know, a tea light or something that just finishes, right? So the idea of letting go of something ending is emphasized through that sort of ritual. It's very wide, but I'm still going to mention it. Chiron and Jupiter being the planet of making everything bigger, emphasizing anything, means that on one side it is emphasizing the wounds around the self, and on the other side, even though it's a 10-degree orb, which is pretty big but still sort of effective, I would say, to this moon again. So we might have some big feelings around this moon, as I said, some triggers, but the nice thing is that it just will flow out easily and naturally. So let that happen to you. Also, Mars is, of course, direct. All the planets are direct, by the way. This is the first lunation in a long while that all the planets are in direct, and that means full motion energy. So this is a powerful period of starting stuff, really bringing something to an end. At least, you know, cleaning out every stagnant energy that there is. So Mars is having a positive relation to this lunation, and that means it is sextiling the moon and it is trining the sun. So it's helping the tension of this lunation. It's helping to, you know, those changes that will likely occur with Uranus, or at least maybe even if it's not physical changes in or around you, it could be, of course, perspective changes, seeing things differently, awakening to a new sort of reality view. And Mars is saying, through me, through the planet of action, we can go into a new direction. It's in Gemini. It's been in Gemini since, like, I don't know, August of 2022, I think. So many, many months. It's still in the post-shadow period, though. You know, it's gaining speed. It's not there. It's at 11 degrees of Gemini. So here Mars is gaining speed, gaining interest again in doing something, being active, pursuing new directions. And in Gemini, I would say those are two directions or multiple directions, right? We're interested in many things. Our mind might be really active. And since it's a social sign, we might feel more interest in engaging with other people, having conversations, and just a very, as I said, active mind. Going into multiple different directions, multiple interests that we might want to pursue, which is natural when Mars is in Gemini. And as I said, it is helping this lunation. So it is saying to us that these different directions are best to be explored, and that again, with the moon being in Leo, your guide is your heart. So just go into different directions, says Mars, and use your heart's intuition, and you'll make the best choice eventually. I would say when Mars is more out of Gemini, and that takes a while. That's like way beyond in spring. So this is a time, I would say a few months to explore, look at the different options you might have, different plans, different interests, read a lot, engage a lot, research a lot, learn as much as you can, and throw some balls out there, you know, start some new things and see where it goes. But mind you, with this lunation, always follow your heart and follow that courageously, right? And I think there is a great need with this lunation, as I said, about love, romance, and relationships. Well, you know, of course, it's sort of a made-up date, February 14th, Valentine's Day, but, you know, February 5th is close to it. So it's funny that there are these loving energies out there around this lunation situation. So it will be very normal to be preoccupied with these kinds of ideas or energies, you know, exploring your needs, and thinking what you might need moving forward with romantic relationships. So again, Chiron trining this full moon in Leo is helping us gain more confidence, right? And confidence is a very Leo word, as well as courage, as I said, right? So confidence and courage are promoted and easily more tapped into during this full moon and the dates around it. And this will help us with, you know, all of our goals. Leo can also be about that abundant life where, you know, money, gold, glitter, glamour is more within reach. So this can also be about how to live a more abundant, rich life. Also, Leo, I would say, is about leadership. So with Chiron helping to heal those wounds around the self and around confidence and perhaps the lack of courage due to trauma, right, is being healed around this full moon in Leo. And that opens the way to being able to take charge in your life and take that leadership role within your life. And remember to also ask yourself, in what way could you shine a little bit more and show yourself a little bit more? Where can you tap into your creative power? I would say that the house that this lunation falls in will be very indicative for you where that is. So 16 degrees of Leo, where is that in your chart? Look at which house it falls into, which is usually the inner circle that has numbers. And you could easily Google, like, if you see that it's the 6th house, like, what is the 6th house? But beneath this video, in the description, you will always find that a very brief summary of what the houses mean. So if you know your birth chart and you know 16 degrees of Leo, which house it is in, you can look under this video and see some of the keywords describing that. So let's name a few. If Leo is in your second house, 16 degrees of Leo, then this is about increasing your money, increasing possessions, increasing value within yourself and around yourself. If this is in your 4th house, then it's likely that something is enhanced or increased love for your house or your family, and you might have this need to decorate more. If this falls in your 7th house, obviously this is the relationship house, so I would say definitely more romance and unexpected meetings, or unexpected feelings that will firstly feel uncomfortable or strange, and then later really help you to gain more value within your relationships, or as I said, the need to be loved, because I would say that that is the key around this full moon. So questions of love, romance, and your heart's needs and desires are in the forefront. So happy full moon in Leo, happening February 5th, and I will see you in the next lunation, which is the new moon in Pisces. Bye.